Regenesis is a 2022 work of social and ecological theory by the British author George Monbiot. Monbiot was born in Kensington in 1963. He studied zoology at Oxford, then worked for the BBC's Natural History Unit before becoming an investigative journalist. He's been shot at, sentenced several times in absentia to life imprisonment, and seriously injured for exposing injustices. He's the winner of several awards for environmental consciousness raising, including, in 2002, the Orwell Prize for Journalism. Regenesis is about the impact of the farming industry on the planet. It points out that 4 companies control 90% of the world's grain market, another 4 control 66% of its agricultural chemicals market, 3 control 50% of its agricultural machinery, while 99% of its chicken is controlled by another 4. The list goes on. The risk of dysbiosis, a medical term which Monbiot adapts to mean the collapse of any ecosystem, is real and exacerbated by a just-in-time delivery focus designed to eliminate warehousing and storage costs. The book begins by looking at soil, which it turns out is key to everything. Far from being a fairly homogeneous substance, it's incredibly complex. Soil behaves like dust in a Philip Pullman novel, the author says. It organises itself spontaneously into coherent worlds. These are built on the principle of fractal scaling. This means that the structure is consistent regardless of the magnification used to observe it. Despite appearances, soil is fragile, and frequent ploughing tends to ruin it. When we talk about breaking the soil to grow crops, Monbiot says, the phrase is appropriate in ways that were never intended. Despite its centrality, there is no soil ecology institute anywhere on Earth. Regenesis wants to stress the insanity of that. The future lies underground, it says. Part of the problem with the present food system is that we're eating a lot of meat. We produce enough food to comfortably feed the world's population, but already roughly half the calories farmers grow are used for raising livestock. Because we eat so much meat, the UK's diet requires nearly 24 million hectares of land. But we only farm 17.5 hectares here. If every nation had the same ratio of consumption to production, feeding the world would require another planet the size of Mercury. And that's not the end. 4.1 million hectares, 4.5 times the UK's agricultural area, is devoted worldwide to crops that are grown to be burned. They're used to produce the world's biofuels. To me, the author adds, burning food is the definition of decadence. The crops used for fuel could feed almost half the people who are chronically hungry. The middle chapters of the book are devoted to possible ways forward, farmers known to the author who are innovating in sustainable ways. Monbiot is always realistic. He's never quite sure that the initiatives in question, however laudable, can be scaled up. However, he does become more optimistic towards the end. One particularly promising research project is being carried out by a Pole called Vinica. You'll have to read the book to find out more. Its last chapter is its most philosophical, and in some ways most challenging. Monbiot thinks that farming, whether intensive or extensive, is the world's major cause of ecological destruction. He thinks we've been seduced by poetry, tradition, and bucolic fantasies into believing otherwise. That'll definitely be a controversial claim for many people. But before you dismiss it, you'd better read the arguments. Over to you.